I'm jumping off, is this a needed suicide? I hope my parachute don't let me down. I hope I get to fly. I don't know why I feel like I gotta die to be alive. I don't know why it feel like people are standing still with no desire. I'm on a wire, wobbling back and forth, the balance clown. I won't be happy if I'm not moving forward, then send me down. My vibration for eternity will continue to come around. So I gotta do this right, I gotta live, I gotta.
I might have to I might have to redo that in the end, on the end part of this, man. What's going on, everybody? Lockoutmen back again with another quick one, and it looks like I am like lagging all over the place, man. I mean, it's like it's crazy right now. I don't even understand why my internet over here is just taking a serious crash. So what I might have to end up doing is probably go dark for y'all if I'm not coming in super clear the way I want. And what I mean by dark, I want to let you guys know, as you guys always know, that means I had to go that way. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean by going dark. But that's what's going on. Welcome to the Lockoutmen podcast show, where we park in Politic with all our guests today. I am your host, Lockoutmen, and today's guest is my guy, Justin Dill from Trucking Tips. What's going on, my G?
Gives the bow. Good to see you again, Lockout. It's been a minute, man.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you taking the time coming on very quick. We try to have a schedule.
No, not a problem.
We had a schedule to get together before, but you was on you felt a little bit under the weather. What happened?
Got a little under the weather, quote unquote. Then I was tired, and I've just been doing a lot here at the house, and it's just like a whole new lifestyle for me doing this podcasting and YouTube right now, like full throttle, man. And you definitely know about this type of career. I mean, this is something you've been doing on the side, but I'm putting everything into it. I'm doing the news, I'm doing the weather, I'm doing the traffic. And you probably have or have not heard, but I'm working with TNC Radio.live right now, actually, part-time.
Okay. I was about to say that you putting all this energy in YouTube, which is a good thing, you know what I'm saying? But why not take it up a notch? You know, take it to the
how so? How can I do that?
Take it up a notch by taking it to the radio, like you just did. You know, you could probably.
Oh.
You know, you could probably.
I did.
Yeah, you could. Instead of part-time, you could probably do it full-time. You could probably actually get your own station, you know, like your own radio station or something like that, like an AM
Gotta
station.
crawl before I run, and that's the reason why I've been reaching out to other creators such as yourself. I've been in contact with Mark over at Trucking Answers. We've had a total of 4 sit-downs and had a little talk about some of the stuff, how I'm growing. A couple of them I'm not putting on live or actually at all, because I want to keep that more of a personal basis so I know what to do, and that way I can coach as creators in the trucking niche, what to do, what not to do. For example, putting in keywords that don't match the topic. So say, for example, JB Hunt, what is it, intermodal, and you don't talk about JB Hunt intermodal in your video, because people usually, what he had suggested to me, and which is probably true, that no one, if you click that in your thumbnail title or in your keyword and they see that in there and there's nothing that's talked about it. So I've been getting some coaching from Mark a little bit, so I'm just trying to keep some of that stuff on the download, quote unquote, but he's helping me out in a big way, and following suit with you guys, and
Mark's
ready to kick this up.
Yeah, Mark from Trucking Answers is a pretty good guy. I've been following him for about a good minute. I have reached out to him maybe about a couple of times, but we haven't came across each other yet, because a lot of people that subscribe to him that is subscribed to me, because he does the crap companies of the week, or the doing it better of the week, and me with with my Make the Call series.
Right.
A lot of people had seen that, and they was like, oh, you and him should, get together and
Have a
touch
sit
base.
down.
Yeah, yeah. But me and him, we kind of like on two different wavelengths. He's busy, I'm busy, and all like that. So we'll find time to get together. We'll definitely do that. All right, bro,
Well, the
man.
good thing is, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. I thought you was about to say
Well, the
something.
thing is, he's definitely down with doing it with you. So I got the confirmation that was like I said earlier, before we went live, that he's definitely down to doing it. So I'm looking forward to all of us working together as a community. So that's what I'm looking forward to. So we can keep on talking, passing things back and forth to each other each week. You can do things on yours, he can do things on his, I can do things on mine. But you got that make a call series. I think that's great. I love it. Mark's got his insight about different things. I've got my niche basically where I'm covering trucking news, traffic, weather in real time. At least that's the approach that I'm going for, and I want to keep this community strong and help other drivers as best that I can, that we all can, in our own different ways. And it's good to get this community going. I'm really grateful to be with you today.
All right. So before you got into all this, you was of course a truck driver.
Yes.
So before trucking, what you was doing before you got into trucking?
Okay, well, let's start from the beginning, the origins of trucking tips, if you will. My name is Justin Dill. I started driving a truck in 2008, and the only reason why I got into truck driving, just to be honest, is I didn't want to become homeless. I was going through some stuff at home, in my late 20s, and I was just like, I was just like trying to figure out life, and I was just like, I've been through a few shelters already. It's just like, what, life has hit me hard, and I just had to hit hard back somehow, some way. So, I was over at the truck stop. I went to go see my dad, but I got cold feet at the end because he was just a bad person, and I'll just leave it at that with him. And I was just like, I'm all the way up there in New Jersey, and I just didn't know what else to do. I was down to my last $200 or less. And I was just like, I did not know what to do, and I needed to do something quick because it's starting to get cold up there, and it's just like,
That's
I think this is
that's
like middle of December.
that's where you from initially, right?
That's where I was born. It's Red Bank, New Jersey. That's right.
All right, all right. Go
But
ahead.
I was living down in Florida with my grandparents during the time, and long story short, we had an argument. It was just like, I needed to figure out and become my own band, and that's how the story begins. So, I got to the TA truck stop over exit 7. I think that's Bloomington, New Jersey. And I talked to a couple other truck drivers. I was sleeping out of my car, and I was just like, man, you know what? I got to figure something out. So I talked to a couple of guys, and they said, they asked me a couple of questions like, hey, how's your driver's license? And my driver's license is fine, no tickets, no problems with insurance, no criminal record, stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? I got to figure out a way to do this. And they're like, well, why don't you just apply for CRST?
Mm.
And that's how I started my career. I got on with CRST back in 2008. I was hired in March 2008, and I had called my old Sunday school teacher Randy in back in Alabama, because I used to live in Alabama as a kid, and I'm back in Alabama now. Long story short, but he's like, you know what? I believe you can do it. You definitely got the potential to do it. So what he decided to do is he spotted me a couple $100 along the way. So I had to drive my car from New Jersey down to Sikeston, Missouri, which took about 2 or 3 days. And then I get down to the trucking school. CRST said they were going to spot me. I did the contract with them, and they said that we'll get you into trucking school. Basically, you'll do like an 8-month contract with us, or whatever it was. I forgot.
Now
Um, Go ahead.
what was your experience doing the schooling part when you got there? Since you got there in
That was an
2008,
adventure. Yeah,
when
that
you
was a real adventure.
yeah when
Like
you
I got there, and we were supposed to start that upcoming week, but we had an ice storm that came down through Cape Girardeau down to Sikeston, and it was pushed out like an extra week because of the ice and stuff like that was so bad on the road. So we had to stay in a hotel room for like an extra week, which was supposed to take us originally 2 weeks to get started. It took us 3 because of that situation. But the school itself was Show Me the Road Trucking School. It was at a quote unquote started off in Sikeston, Missouri, Sikeston. Then it was transferred over to Matthews, and I don't know if they'll ever get to listen to this, but I'm thankful for the education, and it was pretty cool. We had some really good teachers that taught us how to drive the truck, and they're very patient. And
But during your time at CRST, that was back in 2008, right?
right, that's correct.
So was that the time where it was 3 to a truck, or you did 2 to a truck?
It was me and the trainer, so it was two to a truck.
Oh, okay. So what was the experience between you and the trainer? Now this is after, because I already skipped through the schooling part. You already got your license. I'm already
Right.
on the part where you and the trainer is out and about doing the thing. What was the camaraderie
Sure.
between you and the
The
trainer?
the first trainer stunk, had no real teaching experience whatsoever. So I called somebody at CRST and said, "Hey, look, this guy isn't working for me. We're not on the wavelength. Is it possible that I can get a different trainer or whatever? Because this guy and I are just not vibing right. We got bad communication, and there's personal hygiene things that they were like that. I need to get a shower at least every 2, maybe 3 days at absolute maximum. This guy didn't was like, you can't stop the truck. You got to go 650 miles, or we're going to kick you off the truck. And like I said already, I was basically borderline homeless. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I had to sell my car before trucking school just to be sure. I sold my Cutlass for like $300 just to
Mm.
be sure that I had enough money just to go out for trucking, the first week or two or whatever until I graduated off this truck. So I was all in this adventure.
Oh,
So
okay.
I was just like, it was do or die. So luckily, whoever it was over at CRST, they found me another trainer, and he lived out of Washington State. And really good guy. He's been a trainer with them for a long time, talking to me just like a normal person would, and just he taught me how to do things. I was driving to North Dakota, and it was like freezing fog, something I never experienced. Me having a background in meteorology, didn't know really how to handle that. He said, just take your time, don't push yourself too hard, and just if you feel like you need to pull off the road, pull off the road. We'll continue in the morning. We got plenty of time on the load, and it's not exactly a rush.
Sounds
It
like a
wasn't a rat race.
sounds like a pretty good trainer for you that time. How much as a trainee during that time back in 2008? What was CRST offering you as far as training goes?
If I remember correctly, I think it was 21 cents a mile.
Wow.
Split team. Um, I think the trucking school was like maybe 1,500, maybe 2,000, give or take, and I ended up paying that back, so much at a time, because until you graduate, you're making just a little bit more.
Damn,
I think I was
21
actually at like
cents.
18 cents with the trainer.
Damn,
18 cents. Well,
eight
it was low. It was low
18
ball as
cents,
anything.
man. After you got off your trainer's truck and you got into your first truck, how much they was
Mm,
offering you then?
Maybe 24 cents a mile. It was nothing like later
Wow,
down the road.
24
I think
cents a
I
month.
was like
How
it
much
was
how
about
much
24.
how much you was getting paid every week, bro?
About maybe 400, 500 tops a week.
As an over the road driver with them?
I was better off doing McDonald's or something. I thought I was like, man, this has got to be a joke. And I
Wow.
thought about going home. I was like, man, you know what? This isn't really what I expected. I'm missing family. I'm missing friends. But I decided to stick it out and stick with it.
All right.
So I
So
got through.
between CRST and the last company you was with, how long have you been driving altogether?
I took some time off. To be brutally honest, like I took about a 3-year break. Between I'd say what this is nine. This is I'd say 2017 to 2019. I went home to take care of my grandmother for a little bit. She had got dementia last year, so I was taking care of her before that all had happened. So I'd say about overall total experience about maybe 10 or 11 years consistently over the road
Okay,
is my
okay.
experience
So
level.
that's not bad. So between CRST and the last company that you was with, how many companies you was within that time?
Man, you're gonna put me on the spot. No, not really. I'd say maybe 12.
12. Oh, okay, okay. Now with CRST, how long was you with them before you left?
I did a 6-month contract with them, and I Decided it wasn't for me anymore, and I went to CR England. I got suckered into the lease purchase program, like most people
Hey.
get involved with, because they're like, well, we don't have any trucks, but we got these beautiful, nice lease trucks you can get. And it's like, I didn't want to go home, and this is like, man, there's no trucks out here. So yeah, naturally,
So we'll
most
see.
guys.
So we'll see our England. You did the lease thing. How much was the truck a week and all
I
that
think
good
it was.
stuff?
I remember it was like 98 cents a mile, and the truck payment with the bobtail insurance and all that fun stuff. I think it was 720, 750 a week, give or take.
Damn, man, 98 cent a mile, bro. What? How much you was getting with the truck payment? With the truck
I
payment
never
at
made a
700?
check. They never gave me like a real actual check. I think I maybe made $600 in that first month when I first started getting my own lease truck out there. It was a horrible, horrible
Wow.
designed to fail program.
Wow. See,
And
I mean, that's crazy. You wow. How long you was with them before you bounced up out of there?
about a month and a half, 2 months, my turbo head went out in my truck. And guess what? Like, Mr. Dill, you're on your own. You're on the side of the road. You got to pay for your own tow truck. You got to pay for your own hotel room and all that fun stuff. I'm like, man, this ain't gonna work.
All right.
You guys told me you didn't have any trucks out there that I could actually become a company driver. And this is, I was like, you got to read the fine print, man. Like, leasing, even Mark and I talked about this. It is a horrible idea because you are completely on your own if you get in trouble. Like, you got to pay for that tow truck, got to pay for your hotel and whatever else have you. It's just not worth it, man.
All right. So 12 out of the 12 companies, what in your, in your experience, what was the worst trucking company for you out of the 12 out of the
The
12
last one I
companies?
was at, actually, I was a 1099 with this guy, Bosnian fella, and he just had broken down equipment. My back started giving out on his truck. I said, "Look, man, this ain't working." And then I guess you know the story. You and I might have talked about it. Should I talk about it here?
Yeah, you good. You good. Go ahead.
All right, all right. This guy, he's got a company out of Waterloo, Iowa, and CNA. That's what they're called. Stay the heck away from those guys. All right, so their truck. I was over at the Casey's truck stop outside of north of, where was it? North of Cedar Rapids, about maybe 30 miles up north. My truck, I had a 2015, I think, International Prostar that had the original problems with the Dynamax or Duramax engine or whatever. Well, the DES system went out on it, and it was just like idling like it would you normally do when it's trying to do its regen. I was sleeping sleeper, and the whole left passenger side caught up on fire. I was like in a micro sleep during that time. I couldn't believe it. I was like, man, you got to be kidding me. So I get up. I'm still thankfully wearing, my full set of clothes for the previous day. I was like, you know what? I get out there. I grab the fire extinguisher, still keeping a level, calm mind about this, because it's like literally time to, engage in action. Because I used to do some first responder work when I was in my early 20s. So I took care of the situation. I saw there was a hazmat right next to this little side of the. I'm like, okay, there is nothing I can do. I try to put the fire out with the fire extinguisher, but this little thing's about this big. Like, there's not much, depressant in that. So I was able to get it out for just like a second. And I was like, I get back into the truck trying to figure out what else is to do. I was like, I got to try to get this thing backed out. So I, get the truck backed over and start going backwards with it. There's nobody behind me. Thank God I was able to get that thing in motion, but it didn't have any power really. So I'm going like maybe 1 or 2 miles per hour in reverse, just trying to get away from the other truck right there. Because
Mm,
like literally, it was at that moment it was do or die. It's
mm.
just like, this is, I was thinking to myself, so this is how it ends. So I'm like, so I exercise every precaution. I exercise everything that I could possibly do just to try to get that truck out of there. So I bring it up next to the cat scale and it reignites on fire. So I'm able to get out the truck real quick and, be able to get the rest of the flames, pulled back down. But called the sheriff's office, got the fire department out there. They're asking if I'm okay. Of course, my blood pressure's through the roof, and had contacted the company, and I said, "Hey, man, we got a problem out here. The truck caught on fire, but I was able to save the truck and the trailer because I was able to move it out there." And those son of a guns, to say it nicely, decided to leave me there stranded. And that's how I got some help with an organization we'll be talking about here in just a moment, I'm pretty sure.
All right, so wow. So the last company out of the 12, this last company kind of did you dirty. Like, I mean, they
The ultimate
I'm,
dirty, yeah.
I mean, you saved the truck, you saved the trailer from being, from being on fire and everything. Did did what was the end result of that, man? I mean, did you go
The end
back
result
get your
was like
money?
I
Did
didn't
you?
have any clothes. I was lucky to save my computer and my cell phone. All my clothes were gone. My glasses are gone. I got this one pair left of my glasses, but they're brooks. I accidentally had sat on them as I was trying to save their truck and their trailer. So literally, I literally got like maybe like still to this day like 5 shares. I have not been able to make any real income until I got on with TNC Radio.
Wow, man, sorry to hear that. That was a hell of a story at the last
That's
place.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
let's bounce back a little. Let's bounce back a little bit. So that I guess that is one of the worstest one of the worstest company
That's
that you
pretty
would
dirty.
drove for.
Yeah, like even the sheriff's office, they're like, dude, we felt so bad for you. They tried to help out any way that I could, that they could,
So I
actually. So it was the Cook County Sheriff's Office, I think it was.
So actually, me and you got a little thing, trucking, a little thing in common with trucking. You drove for J&R Schugel at one point. What was your
That wasn't the worst, supposedly. I thought it was.
what was your experience with them, man?
All right, so J.R. Schugel, I was with them December 2019 through December 20, or I'm sorry, till June 2020, I think it was, about 6 months. Now, I had Alyssa as my fleet manager when I was on dry van division. I started off with the reefer division. I had Joel, and Joel was fantastic, honestly.
What
Great guy.
when was you there?
December 2019 till June 2020.
Okay, go
For
ahead.
about 6 months. Yeah, so I had Joel for about a month or whatever, but they didn't have any loads going back to Florida because I was still bouncing out of Florida, taking care of my grandmother and visiting her during home time, and some friends during that time. So, kind of kept tabs on the family and, hung at my friends over at Disney and stuff, and I was still bouncing down there. But they didn't have any loads on the reefer side going back down to Florida, and so I asked if I could switch over to the dry van, and then I got Alyssa, and it was like I only got down to the Florida like I think once, maybe twice. They tell you they can get you home or whatever, but that's just not the case, and I got tired of that, so I'd stick out there for about 3 to 4 months or whatever, just work hard, be like, hey, where you want me to go? Where can I start staging up? Where can I find a trailer or whatever so I can keep the ball going? I say to my recap every time that I could, I didn't burn hours. I wasn't that kind of guy that would do that. I was just out there to make money. Now, I made some good checks out there. I was making about maybe 700, 900 a week,
Now you was a company driver.
but
You was a company driver for J&R Schugel, right?
yeah, that's correct.
All right. So any other than the fact that they couldn't get you down to Florida, what was the reason why you left?
Don. Donnie boy,
What
idiot.
what
Long
happened?
story short,
Yeah,
we all know who he is. If you've been to J&R Schugel, you all know who this clown is.
what
But anyway,
what
I had
happened with
decided
him?
to post a. I had decided to make a Facebook a post about what was going on with the whole FedEx situation, about that one truck driver. You know where I'm going with this, I'm assuming, right?
The truck driver that guy
That was,
that ran
yeah,
over
that story.
the post that ran over the protesters.
More or less, yes, but I probably did, like, I won't say inappropriate post on Facebook, but I had quote unquote, you might want to edit this, I don't know, but I'm just gonna let it go. I had put out a stick figure of a truck and a person all live splatters. Stay the hell off the highway.
I mean,
So they got upset about that. Of course, I thought it was just a joke, like most people do in comedy or whatever, you know. So I was just like, you know what? And they're like, you know, that was too far, you know. So the human resources girl, I can't remember her name. She
Kathy,
thought it was funny, honestly.
Kathy,
She's
no,
like, you just
not
can't put
Kathy.
J.R. Schugel attached to that. And then Don decided to get all butthurt about that because I had a sense of humor and he didn't with his old age.
All right,
So
so wait. You put this in JNR Schwugel's
not
Facebook
theirs,
page?
my own personal, just
Oh,
my
you
own.
all right? So you put it in your own personal page. How would you, if it's on your personal page? How was it attached to JNR Schwugel?
Because I worked there as they were my employer during that time.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is, did you put
It really
JNR Schwugel in the?
lawfully, when it comes to the aspect of the law, they had no right to terminate me for that situation. I could still go for a lawsuit on that if anybody else has been mistreated under that type of classification. You
Yeah,
know, it's still open season for them.
yeah, but I'm still tripping on the fact that, did you, like, in your
I,
post, did you say JNR Schwugel in your post?
nope, nope,
What did you write?
not at all.
Did you, like, how, you know how some YouTubers do? They put in their titles, the name of the title, and then they put like Prime, Western Express, and then JNR
They
Schwugel, like
had
I did.
There
Did
was
you?
nothing attached to J.R. Schugel besides the fact that they were my employer during that time. And I think I know who tried to get me in trouble with that too. And she was a friend of mine,
Okay, so
but
let
she's
me.
been really, really quiet since then.
Okay, so let me get this straight then. How was it possible that they was able to see that on your Facebook and then determine to fire you because of what you say?
Because this girl, so she's also a friend of mine, or she was a former friend. I'm not sure what she wants to call me now these days, but she ratted me out because she thought it was inappropriate. Some people are just butthurt because of, you know, political views or just, you know, common sense. Some people don't like to be told what to do, and some people are just too offended with some of that kind of stuff.
Okay, so
It
how
wasn't anything drastic. It wasn't blood, guts, or gore or anything of that nature whatsoever. It was just like it was a stick figure.
I'm still tripping on the fact that
I know.
I'm still
I
tripping on
was
that.
too.
So you got the call from, I'm assuming you got the call from Don to come in and talk to
He
him.
just did it over the phone.
Oh,
I
you
didn't
did it
even
over.
get to talk to the guy. He just did it over the phone.
What was the
He
conversation
said,
over
"Bring
the
the truck."
phone?
He said, "Well, because of things that are going on in this political realm right now, we don't want our name attached to it. We think it'd be best for you just to come on, bring the truck back, and go our separate ways."
What?
hmm
He said it just like that, verbatim.
That's exactly what he said, word for
Wow.
word.
Wow. I mean, well, you know what? You probably gotta understand too that, all this, especially in the trucking industry, if you're not unionized, everything is at will. So,
Yeah, exactly. That's just it.
you know,
I didn't really care. I thought it was funny. I still laughed about it. They bought me a bus, or they got me a train ticket up to go see my friend up in where was that? Portland, Oregon. Went to go visit him for about a couple of days, and I bounced onto another carrier, but I forgot exactly where that was I went to. I
wow.
was fishing around. I was fishing around for a couple carriers. I think it was K&B, and I just didn't like the way some things went. Um, but you know, it was just like, no, I actually can't
Wow.
say anything bad about K&B. Honestly, I thought they actually might have been a good company. But there's one thing I will say about K&B. If anyone's looking to get a job with them, I will say this. I'm not bad mouthing, but I will tell you this as facts. If the lights come on, your cruise control is off. They have got that much power in their truck to say, hey, if you turn on your lights, like if it's at night and you want to drive at night, your cruise control is off.
Wow.
I'm like, nope, I'm out. No
Man,
thanks.
so JNR Schwugel, Don just called you up and just terminated you because wow. Somebody had
I
to.
should have went for
Somebody.
unemployment. Honestly, that's what I
Yeah,
should have
you
done.
should have.
I
Yeah,
should
you
have
should have went for.
played that card.
Yeah, you should have went for that. I think you was there for like what, 6 months.
Yeah, I could have got it too.
Yeah, you should have went for that, man. But wow, woo. Yeah, that guy.
He's an idiot.
Not too many people. Not too many people who I talked to thus far,
And guess what? The
including.
beautiful thing about it is the absolute truth, so they can't come back on either one of us because it's the absolute truth.
Yeah, my issues with the man and several others. So, wow. Uh,
Yeah, well,
but if it
those
wasn't,
boys better figure out a way to get rid of him. You know the story about him. They got rid of his ass once. Excuse my French.
well,
I apologize.
I mean, they did at one point, but he's up for retirement now. So from what I understand, he should be retiring soon. But
No, man,
even
that
the
man's up
even
for a
the
freaking nursing home. That's what he's up for.
even the next person that they bring in, I had, I don't know if it's that particular person, and I'm not the one to speculate, but if it is, he's no better than Don anyway. So, all right, man. So out of all the out of what 10 years altogether, 12 companies, what did you find fun about driving, man? I mean, 12 companies. I mean, did you find a niche somewhere? Did you find a company that you like, that you enjoy driving
Storm
with?
chasing was the best thing about it. I actually enjoyed being out there. If there's like severe weather and stuff like that. That's my other passion. So I got to go all across the country. I used to joke with my friends in the weather community, "Hey, I'm storm chaser." Like, Justin, how can you storm chase in a semi? Watch me. Like, literally, of course, I'm keeping a mindful set because you can't get so far within a storm, but I can hang 20 miles back or in front of it and get a good perspective of what's really going on. I've gotten phone calls from the National Weather Service and stuff before, like, "Hey, Ben, do you see anything going on out here or there?" Because I'm on Spotter Network. So, stuff like that. It was always fun. It was always be out, carrying out my other things that I enjoy in life to be able to drive the truck, free housing basically, in the back of that cab and just going wherever you want. Sometimes I would call like Alyssa, like I said, I love that. I love working with her. She was great. And I'd called her my travel agent, say, "Hey, where you want me to go today, or where can I probably get out here or there and whatever." So,
So what about
not everything about.
so
Go
throughout
ahead.
so throughout your whole thing, how many times have you been pulled in by the DOT?
Oh, good question. Three actually. The first time was over when I was doing oil field work, and this was about 7 years back, somewhere in there. Long story short, I'm going down with a pipe truck that was for Schlumberger out of Oklahoma City, and I'm going down to Texas, and I come across the state line from Oklahoma down into Texas. I see a DOT cop, lights me up, and uh, basically is signaling me to go into the first rest area as soon as you get a chance to get the across the way over there. Long story short, he comes up and he's asking for my driver's license, medical card, and my law book, and we're still on paper logs. And I say, "Hey, how's it going? Everything's here, everything's concurrent, status is current -29. It's slang for nothing that's going on with you being in trouble and stuff." So he's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna check this out real quick, and then everything's good with your logbook. I'll give you a clean no violation if everything's good, and sent me on my way." Everything was good to go. I got an extra $100 from my boss Mac. He actually is gonna be coming on my show here at some point, Mac Ellis, and he was my boss in the oil field. So more good times to come for sure, because I love to get some wisdom out of him. This guy's been in the industry for a long time,
All
so I
right.
think he's brokering right now. So
So you
always been like a father figure.
so 10 years of experience, man. What throughout the whole 10 years of driving, man, what have you learned? What have you learned or not learned out here in the trucking industry?
What have I not learned? I mean, there's plenty that I have not learned. I don't think any of us can actually say we know everything, because the time that we say we know everything is when we hang those keys up and say, "I'm done." We always got to keep an open mind out here. There's a few things that I wish that I could have known a little bit better, of course, but I can't say that there's anything that I can say that I wish I would have known better.
All right.
Maybe just actually, the only thing I will say is this is coming back to Mark. He's got such a gravy job right now. He's only working like 7 hours a day and home every night and off on weekends. And he's still making good money. Now, there are supposedly good jobs out there that do that, but we just don't hear enough about them because everything's such on a scale or in that aspect. And it's such an old system, and we had talked about it the other day when we were doing our show. And it's just like it's like a system that really needs to fade away. That I'm not trying to really promote, but that's the reason why there are some companies like I think GP Transco or Shipbex. They have salaries every week, and that's the way that trucking needs to go towards, or be an hourly thing where you can be home every night. If not home every night, be able to get a hotel room. Um,
That's
because sleeping in that truck is really, gets tiresome
that's
sometimes.
that's not gonna ever happen. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Trucking
I
the
hear
way
you.
trucking the way it is right now. You know how everything's so convoluted and how everything is so set up, man. It's never gonna change. I mean, some people have, some. I talk to ship apps, and some people even has issues with that being salary. And I kind of probably have my own thought about being a salary driver, but yeah, it's never gonna change, man. Um, so let's fast forward. The accident that left you stranded. You reached out to an organization. CDL Tears, my girl Jen, or Jessica,
Jesse. Yeah.
Jessica. You reached out to her. How did you come across finding them for help?
All right, so after the fire, I was staying at a hotel in town over in Cedar Rapids, and they were not obviously going to help me out. So I got on the horn on YouTube and got on the horn with what is St. Christopher's was the first people I reached out to actually, and they were really cool responding back. They said that wasn't something they helped out with, but they suggested cdltier.org. Um, I was able to get a hold of them the next day and told them exactly what had went on. I gave them all the information from the sheriff's office, from what had happened with the fire. They verify everything that had happened, and Jess and a few others on the board, they understood the situation and they got me the bus ticket to get from Cedar Rapids back to Anderson, Alabama. That's where I live.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. How did the whole process work? Because there's young, we right now we just got finished talking about females in trucking that's being assaulted by their trainers, and
Yeah,
they have no kind of way or nobody to turn to as far as help. So
right.
what was the process for you from the time it started when you called them up until the time they got you home?
It was pretty casual, simple, just like discussion, like how you and I are talking right now. They just wanted to be sure that they weren't just throwing $200 out to some person that just needed money or whatever. So they verified everything that had happened, and Jess and whoever else was on the board decided, hey, this guy really needs our help, you know. And I said, I told him my situation. That I was also, I was doing trucking videos, but not where the caliber that I'm at right now. Um, and they saw that as a potential, I guess, so I can advocate for CDL tier and real women in trucking. But I said I definitely had their back 100%. If there's anything I could do, I would definitely do it in the future. And I said I would be indebted to them for life because literally I was on my final straw. I didn't know what to do. It was like -10 at times out there in Cedar Rapids. I had nothing. Like I had no clothes, no anything. Just get around, where I could get back home with.
Wow.
So I was freaking out, man. I'm not no super YouTuber with thousands and thousands of subscribers and making fat checks or whatever. I'm just a normal guy just like you or anybody else that's out here doing the real world, working hard, and the crap hand that I got played with by that company because of truck, and I saved their equipment and tried to do the right thing. I should have let thing burn down. I honestly thought I was like, I started regretting a little bit. This is the thing. This is the thanks that I get for being a good Samaritan, basically. But no, you know what? I stayed. I know I was questioning it, but I said, no, no, I'm going to stay faithful. I want to trust in God through this. And sure enough, God has blessed me every step of the way ever since then.
Man, that's crazy. Well, definitely shout out to Jess for
Mm.
coming through for you, man. That's no doubt about that. CDL tiers, everybody. If you have any issues or anything like that, definitely reach them out. I believe it's cdltiers.org, as well as as for females. You got two organizations that I'm an advocate for. That's Real Women in Trucking and She Trucking, Sheree Moore's group. So definitely, if y'all have any questions or issues or anything like that, definitely reach out to them. And Justin, man, I mean, the last company really must have put a bad taste in your mouth because you haven't been driving since.
Nope, I'm not going to either. That's just like my medical card just expired. I haven't got any notification from them just yet. So you know what? Nope. That's it. 13 years was enough for me. I'm going to be doing news, weather, traffic, and I got to be working with TNCradio.live. But before I continue on, let me just say this real quick. So from the bottom of my heart, Jess, Desiree, you guys with CDLtier.org and Womenintrucking, I'm always going to say thank you so much for saving my life, because that was one of the moments in my life that I just didn't know which way I was going to go. That was it for me, honestly. I thought it was game over for sure. It's like I didn't know if I was going to freeze to death or what, because they really saved my life, and I just want to say thank you. I'm forever in your
Let
debt.
you know that there's some good people out here that really, that really would help us in any situation, and basically that's what we need to do, man. We need to come together and help one another in tumultuous times. It's just unfortunate that there's not too many organizations or not too many people that's willing to do that. So
Well, here's what we do have. We got a community now, like what we've got going on between me, you, Mark, and anybody else. So we got a trend going at the moment. We can keep this up too. So we got to be sure that we push out cdltier.org and Real Women in Trucking whenever we get a chance to talk about them. This
exactly.
is what makes a community, and this is what's going to keep us all together like glue. And we're going to make it stick. So
all right, so now I guess you kind of like reinvented yourself, and you kind of refocus everything that you're doing now. You jumped on YouTube, and you took solace from there. You have a gaming channel, right?
I do, but I kind of did a gaming and trucking swap. My channel originally was called Hyped Gamer Network, HYPED, and I had another channel for trucking tips, and you probably knew about that.
So you say your channel got hacked. How did you figure? How did you know somebody hacked your channel?
Well, I had no longer access to it. It was hacked by a Cambodian scammer, apparently, when it was Hype Gamer Network, and I had to contact YouTube at Team YouTube on their Twitter handle. They gave me some information. I had to file a report with my local sheriff's office back in Florida, over in Polk County, and they helped out with some of that, I guess.
So
But it took about
did you give your account information to anybody for them to hack it?
No, there was a leak, and there was a leak behind the door. Basically, you could check out anybody's about channel or whatever, and one of the security questions was to see when the channel was created. So I think they had fixed it, but if you claimed that you had your YouTube channel, you forgot your password, they would ask you on one of the security questions when that channel was created. If you got that right, they would send you
Oh,
and you'd make a new ownership email, whatever, new phone number, whatever have you, and they were able to figure it out that I had never did that, because my address was always set from my original residence during that time. So they were able to help me out, but it took about 3 months for them to get that all figured out. My AdSense, all of that was switched over.
wow. Was you able? What was you able to? Was you able to get all of that back? Was
No.
Wow. So you had to set up a whole new channel and a whole new IP and everything with YouTube.
Yep.
Somebody could just go through the back door and just say, oh yeah, my account was created February such and such and such and such, and
Mm-hmm.
then YouTube won't do nothing else about it. Just okay, well yeah, yeah, okay. High part.
That's exactly what happened.
What was it? What was your channel? High tech gamer.
H no hyped HYPED space gamer space network.
Hype Gamer Network, and they just gave your information over to this nobody.
That's right.
Wow, that is crazy.
Man, I was in tears when that happened too, man. I worked so hard on that. I was never prouder of anything else in my life. That's the reason why I was forced back into the truck. I didn't want to go back into driving a truck, but because of that had happened, I had no choice. I was starting to make about $300-400 a month before that channel had got hacked. And it's
Wow.
like, you know what? Now I got to go back to driving a truck so I can pay my bills. I mean, I lost out my car when I was making my car payment, but you two didn't care about that.
Man, so they just went on here and just gave your shit to somebody else and just said
I got
F you.
robbed. Literally, that's the worst form of
And
robbery you can do to somebody.
and YouTube didn't do nothing about to help you out in that department.
Nope,
See, my
not a
problem,
thing.
my
Not a
problem
thing.
with YouTube as far as us creators go, because you got a gang of creators that's telling you how to build on YouTube, how to get views on YouTube, how to get subscribers on YouTube, but nobody on YouTube would tell you what to do if you got hacked. There's no direct communication with YouTube other than you going to a Twitter account. Like, really? Who wants to do that? I mean, if I have a problem, I want to
I agree.
pick up the phone and talk to somebody in customer service. Like, yo,
You can't do that.
especially if I'm putting all my blood, sweat, and tears to build this YouTube community for YouTube, and YouTube is taking about 20-30% of my revenue, and it's
50,
no,
I think it's actually 45, 55 right now.
yeah, so they still taking a piece of my revenue.
They went up again.
They went up again. Well, I don't know. I don't know it.
You went up for a sec.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it went up again. 45, 55, the last I had heard.
Wow, that's crazy, and no way for us to talk to them other than going to a Twitter thing, and
Twitter.
that makes no kind of sense to
Yep.
me. That makes no kind of sense to me. So that's why I said that with this.
Let
YouTube,
me share this with you. Let me share this with you real quick. A lot of creators that actually got taken advantage of because of the same exact method, and they left YouTube and went to Twitch. Um, I was running along with the Pokemon community, the Pokemon Go game. It was like Pokemon Master Holly, Reversal, Trainer Tips, and a few other ones. They had similar problems, and these guys were like 100,000 subscriber channels plus, and stuff like that had happened with them. Of course, because they're high dollar for YouTube, you
see there.
because I'm a low guy, less than 10,000 subscribers. Oh, we don't care. The heck with you. Have you? That's just the reality of what had happened.
I think
That's the
YouTube.
thanks that I got for being a creator.
I think YouTube is fucking with us right now. They don't want us to talk about. They don't want us to talk about this that bullshit. That's why nobody on YouTube ever talks about it, because we probably might get cut out or whatever.
Yeah, those videos are they're not on there because the fact of the matter is that there really is no help besides send a tweet to @team YouTube and we'll take care of you.
And that don't even work.
3 months later, it took a subpoena from the sheriff's office to find out what had happened with my channel, and then they finally got on the ball with it. Did I ever get my monetization back that I had lost during that time? No. My videos got deleted though.
Wow.
That were making good money.
And then now you started everything. So just trucking tips right here, or what's other channels that you got?
Well, the old trucking tips is now Hyped Gamer Network, and then I turned Hyped Gamer Network into Trucking Tips. So
Okay.
basically did a trade-off. But
All
here's
right.
the thing, what I will say this, and this was partially my fault. I will have to take some responsibility like a man. I didn't have two-factor authentication on during that time when my channel had got hacked.
So
So it's really important to have that.
somebody told me to go back and double check that. So I'll probably go back and double check that later on this evening,
I highly
and
recommend you
probably
do.
set that up, man. Set that up. All right, so man, listen, I do appreciate you taking the time out to come on and chop it up with me today, man. I really do appreciate it. Um, there's YouTubers out here. There's YouTubers out here, that's giving up the game, the way they go by giving up the game, and there's not
Mhm.
too many of us that that you know what
Make
I'm
content that matters.
yeah, there you go. Thank you. Uh, with that said, man, with your channel, trucking tips, what do you want to get across to the people that's either interested in coming into the game, or to the people that's already into the game? What do you want your channel to be, for them
I
to
want
get
to be
out
a
of?
channel that's informative with news, weather, and traffic conditions. That's what I've been specializing with. That's how I got found by tncradio.live. So basically, they're like a podcast channel. They stream 24 hours a day. I come on in the mornings with those guys, and usually sometimes I started streaming on YouTube from 8 o'clock in the morning Central Time to 10 o'clock in the morning. So if you guys want to check me out over there, that'd be great. Be glad to have you on. So my job with those guys is just to talk about, stuff that's entertaining, like the movies, like say Star. All right, all right. I'm gonna basically my job with TNC Radio is to give weather and traffic information for them. But sometimes it might be a quiet day. We'll talk about other things going on. Like today, they talked about the whole uh, Prince Harry and Meghan situation. We talked about that for a few minutes this morning. Keeping up with real current events out there is important. So that's them guys. But sometimes or whatever news going on, we'll talk about the DC or Marvel or Star Trek or anything that's in pop culture to keep the airways going and keep that entertainment value for other truck drivers that are listening to the show. That's what we do over there.
All right, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. What's the name of what's the name of it again? What is it?
Yeah. TNC live.
.live. All right, all right. Justin Dill of Trucking Tips, everybody. Again, man, I appreciate you coming on, sharing your
Yeah.
experience and everything. In a situation that you were in, what kind of advice that you can give to new jacks out here, man?
I'll tell you this, Mark and I talked about this the other day. Have an extra $500 saved up in your back pocket because you never know what could possibly happen out here. For example, Desiree and I think Jess had talked about this. There was a girl that was pregnant and she was driving a truck, and the trainer had kicked her out the truck with the police, and they said that you had 5 minutes to get everything out of your truck or else you're going to go to jail, basically, more or less. So CDL Tears jumped in to help her out, and it's just like you can't force people to be in that kind of a situation. So guys, please have a backup plan because not every company is great. Unfortunately, this is the real world. This is real life, and trucking's not always the same with every company. So always have a rainy day account just to get out of that situation. But if you don't have that, and if you're able to help anybody out, I will say if you got a way to get uh, any donations over to Jess over to Desiree over at CDL.tier, I'm sorry, CDLtier.org, that's the organization. Please, I mean, there are drivers out there each and every day that might be going through something similar. If I can, help save somebody else's, day and whatever to help out through cdltier.org, you know,
Well,
they can
that's
definitely use that contribution and put it to good use.
you know what I was talking to I was talking to a young well, I'm just gonna say Lady X in a Facebook group, and I'm not gonna mention the Facebook group, But I did a video on it, and the name of the video is "Why Do I Need a Credit Card and $500?" The young lady, she wanted to get out there. She coming out, yada yada yada. She's happy to get on with a company and all like that, and that company happened to be Warner and yada 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 yada. So I turned around and I said, "Well, okay, well you got your badge, you got your badge, you ready to go, but do you have a credit card?" And at least the bottom end is 3, top end is 5. The young lady, she claims to be a trainer with Warner, asked me and says, why do she need a credit card and $500? I said, you're a trainer. Wouldn't you suggest that they will have some type of funds out there for emergencies? So she goes, well, if for whatever reason that she had to leave Warner or it doesn't work out for Warner would give her a bus ticket home.
Not necessarily.
I said a bus ticket? No. See, that's where the credit card, number one, that's where the credit card comes into play. You can get yourself a rental car and go back home. Okay?
Yep.
And then the $500 comes into play because you don't know. I mean, I'm sure you're not going to pay, I'm sure you're not going to pay for her food, for her, whatever she buys out here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all going to be on the truck for like about a month at least. You know what I'm saying? And that that little bit of money that they pay for training ain't shit. So it's always good to have a backup plan. Justin, man,
absolutely.
I appreciate you coming on, man. I really do. Thank you very much. And that's going to do it for the Lockoutmen podcast show for today. I really appreciate you guys watching. If you like content like this, like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that bell and that all button. Again, if you like content like this, consider joining the platform. You know what I'm saying? Hook a brother up with some coffee. As a matter of fact, I'm right here at this Love's, and I'm about to go in there and give me a drink right now because I'm thirsty. But we about to get on up out of here. I really do appreciate you guys watching, listening, all that good stuff. If you don't have time to watch, listen to it on the podcast. Just type in Lockoutmen in your favorite podcast, and it'll pop right up. Everybody, y'all take it easy, and we'll come back at you with another one. Peace.
This your year, get it in. Party over here, get it in. She like a liquor clear, get it in. She get it from a deal, get it in. Make it disappear, get it in. Park it in the rear, get it in. Now make it reappear, get it in. Freak it with no fear, get it in. Pop it in the clutch, girl, get it in gear. Jump on it, double dutch, girl, get it in gear. Drop it, double clutch, girl, get it in gear. Pump it up, butt lift, now downshift.